Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakahakudash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and in this video, I'm going to start it off in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And when you go into the Strong's definition for that word perdition, it means destruction, and the man of sin and the son of perdition has been revealed to be the Edomites, who are known today as the so-called white people or Caucasians. Verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, which is easy to see. These Edomites have a God complex and do everything clean contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And they push these ideologies out here like Darwinism, the theory of evolution, and the Big Bang Theory to do whatever they can to discredit the Bible and try to make people think that, look, there is no higher power. This life is all that there is. And with these Edomites currently being in power and having these so-called technological and scientific advancements, people that have been raised to believe that there is no God would naturally look at these Edomites as the God or the apex predator of this planet, as it's about to say, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, shewing himself that he is the Most High through his deceitful philosophies and his scientific and technological miracles. And in this video, I'll be profiling two clips to show an example of this Edomite opposing himself against the Most High and trying to exalt himself above the Most High and shewing himself as the Most High. In the videos, we'll be dealing with this Edomite using gene editing on crops to try to create heat-resistant crops, which is trying to usurp the power of the Most High, saying, look, this planet that's been around for thousands of years and has worked naturally without any human tampering, hey, we can do better. We can gene edit crops and make things that would be much more beneficial to humanity. And in my second clip, I'll be dealing with an Edomite talking about the need for artificial wombs, taking away the natural order of things where a man impregnates a woman and a baby is naturally birthed. This Edomite trying to shew himself as the Most High and opposing the Most High in the natural order. Hey, if this man was allowed to rule indefinitely, this planet would become a desolate, uninhabitable wasteland, as it says in Matthew chapter 24, and except those days should be shortened, no flesh would be saved. And just look at the state of this planet. This Edomite sprays chemtrails into the sky. He gives GMO foods for people to eat, which gives them cancer. He pushes cell and Wi-Fi radiation, which further gives people cancer. He pours pollution into the oceans, which causes marine life to beach itself on the shores because it can't deal with it. He strip mines lands for their resources. He hunts animals to extinction, and he pushes these destructive ideologies onto people like feminism, the alphabet group beginning with LG, democracy, capitalism, socialism, communism, etc., etc. He's damn near destroyed the relationships between men and women to where people think it's unnatural and a detriment to your living your own life to have children. Just complete madness. But all praises to the Most High that we're living in the last seconds of his rulership before he's taken out of power, and the children of Israel, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, will be set up under Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai in the kingdom of heaven. And we're going to rule this planet under the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, which is the only right way to rule this planet. And this planet, during that time, is going to go back to being like the Garden of Eden, even better than the Garden of Eden. But now let's get into these clips showing this Edomite, the man of sin, the son of perdition, trying to oppose and exalt himself above the Most High and shew himself as the Most High. The first clip's from RT America, and the title reads, UK green lights climate change wheat, but others cite safety concerns.
Well, the debate over GMOs is taking the spotlight over in the UK. This after scientists have begun researching how gene editing could impact the food supply and do experiments there and make some wheat heat resistant from potential climate change.
And again, wheat and other crops have been doing just fine on this planet for thousands of years. But when this Edomite came into power, he says, look, we can do things better. We can gene edit crops to make them heat resistant, among a whole host of other Frankenstein type things. And if you look up what the effects of GMO foods have done to mice in experiments, you'll see that mice gave birth to just amniotic sacs without babies, among a whole host of other health issues. And you know that they do things on mice before they do it on humans. And humans have been eating GMO foods for decades at this point. So it's no wonder to see why people are so sick and have a lot of health and neurological issues out here.
Many are warning against the dangers of such experimentation, though. RT producer Hector Rivas has the report.
If you were given a slice of bread that was genetically engineered from wheat fields, would you eat it? If no, what if you found out it was engineered specifically to address climate change? Well, researchers at the John Eanes Research Center in...
And again, this is the same Edomite that has set up the Georgia Guidestones that say they want to keep humanity's population under 500 million because the world's overpopulated. And he says that people should cut back on their meat consumption, so they should really consider eating foods made out of bugs, synthetic meats created in labs, and even steaks created out of human feces. Just complete and utter madness.
In Norwich in the UK are now working to gene edit a wheat crop that can withstand high heat temperatures.
The yield of wheat is under threat, and so if we find a really key gene that may be impacted by temperature, it's possible that by gene editing we can make tiny tweaks to that gene.
The gene editing projects are expanding, but research is still in the infant stages. Research is poised to go ahead in England specifically, following the easing of regulations no longer in place following the UK's withdrawal from the EU. Under EU rules, gene edit...
So they tell you that it's in its infant stages. If information like this is getting the mainstream news outlets, best believe that they've been doing it for decades at this point. Again, how long have people been eating GMO foods?
Follow the same guidelines as the traditional method of genetic modification in GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. But now with Brexit, it's entirely up to the UK to decide just how it wishes to set its rules. Speaking at the annual Oxford Farming Conference, Britain's Farming and Environment Minister George Eustice hinted this initial step could be the beginning of many more to come. We will start in the first instance with crops, since I think the ethical concerns on livestock are harder, do need a little bit more thought, and we don't have to do everything in one go. These remarks are probably what has opponents riled up, warning the changes in rules could spell disaster for the UK's food supply and any nation that follows.
And again, this is the same Edomite that has companies like Monsanto that create genetically modified seeds that can be spread into fields with naturally growing plants and overtake those naturally growing plants to spring up more of those genetically modified plants. And then they'll come up with bills and say, look, your fields have our genetically modified crops in them, so we own them now and deserve to get money from them. Oh, and also, you've got DARPA creating mosquitoes, genetically modified mosquitoes that can be designed to carry certain man-made diseases to destroying enemies' croplands or spread diseases to people. They just like an injector, an organic ejector with that needle nose. This man is the real son of perdition or son of destruction. Duke Nukem.
Other government officials have assured the public there is no need to fear.
we're very aware that, you know, this whole area can feel worrying to people. So what we're taking is the first small proportionate step to allow our scientists to really, really look at this technology.
Still, some groups don't buy it, even though researchers say it is to combat climate change. GM Watch, for example, remarked about the rule changes many times. A key reason gene editing shouldn't be deregulated is all the hype about its precision and accuracy. It's BS. Even Harvard's George Church calls #CRISPR a blunt axe. He says it's called editing. I think it's really genome vandalism. Yet the government thinks it needs no safety checks? Many scientists have welcomed the easing of rules for gene editing research, although the new removal of regulations could put the public at risk. It seems only time will tell what comes of this new research. For RT, Hector Antonio Rivas.
So with this clip, now I'm going to go to my second clip titled Gravitas, Artificial Wombs Are Coming, from Wyon's YouTube channel. That man who wants to oppose and exalt himself above the Most High and sit in the seat of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. I can do better than a man impregnating a woman and a baby naturally being born. Why not create synthetic wombs outside of the woman?
And here's a story straight out of science fiction, replacing human pregnancies with artificial wombs. I know the idea sounds dystopian, but it may be a fast-approaching reality. Dutch scientists are working on it. Influential people are promoting it, like the co-founder of cryptocurrency Ethereum. He recently pitched synthetic wombs as a solution to the income disparities between men and women. He said they could reduce the burden of pregnancy and help women earn equally at their workplaces.
Like these Edomites, more specifically the elites of these Edomites, ever cared about the rights of women. Just go find that interview of Aaron Russo, where he talks about how when Nick Rockefeller, a friend of his, of the Rockefeller family, asked him what he thought the women's right movement was about, Aaron Russo said many similar sentiments. Oh, it's about giving women equal rights and having a better life. And Nick Rockefeller looked at him and laughed and said, are you stupid like these average people out here? We did it to tax both people in the household, get the woman out of the household into the workplace. And what would that further lead to? Children by themselves and being able to be completely indoctrinated by the dictates of the government. Hence why you've got these people out here that think, oh, GMO or gene-edited crops to create wheat that is heat resistant is a good thing. Don't you know it would help with climate change? Or, oh, there's nothing wrong with synthetic wombs creating babies. As they say, it would help to give women more rights and make this a more equal society. And that, on top of these people consuming these GMO foods that have neurologically messed them up and messed up their health, on top of the chemtrails and whatever other madness this Edomite's pushing out here to deceive the people, has just turned this planet into the state you see it in right now. A state of constant decay, degeneration, degradation, and deviancy.
Interestingly, he made the suggestion to Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Why did he reach out to Musk? Our next report tells you.
Meet Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of Ethereum, the second best cryptocurrency after Bitcoin.
And I mean, look at this guy. This is the guy you want to follow after and get your information from. And notice, the people pushing all these weird ideas look like what? So-called white people, Edomites.
The 27-year-old inventor has pitched a bold solution to end the economic disparities between men and women and also to prevent our planet from a population collapse. He wants to replace pregnant women with synthetic wombs, a proposal that has drawn the wrath of feminists. Buterin shared this techno-utopian solution in a Twitter exchange with the ultimate tech visionary Elon Musk.
And listen to what Elon Musk has to say about his concerns of population declines.
Of late, the Tesla tycoon has been expressing his concerns about an impending global population collapse. He's been sharing tweets about falling birth rates the world over, which Musk says won't leave enough people for his relocation plans to Mars.
He doesn't care that the population is declining because that means less people. As he says, I'm worried about population decline because I won't have enough people to colonize Mars. This is the mind of a damn devil. You've wrecked this planet, and now you're thinking about going to other planets and wrecking them. The son of perdition, or the son of utter destruction. As it says in Job 9 verse 24, the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. You Edomites aren't going anywhere else but planet Earth.
Buterin chimed in to Musk's complaints online with a controversial solution: synthetic wombs. He even shared a graph to justify his views. It pointed out how women's earnings drop significantly after a child, but for men, they remain unchanged. Synthetic wombs, according to him, can remove the high burden of pregnancy and reduce income disparities. This wild suggestion has split the internet. While some have welcomed it, the others are calling it crazy. Those in favor say they would love to have more options and prioritize their health. Some others say that it would help them escape it.
And just look at the state of women out here under Esau's rule, just completely bugged out. There's a reason the majority of these women out here are on antidepressant drugs, because they're living a life that's opposite of how they should be living according to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Women are also in the higher percentage groups. They're in a group. How can I put it? Percentage-wise, women consume more alcohol than men out here.
An environment where men condition women. And yet, others think that bearing child the exact same way women have forever is just deeply regressive. Those against synthetic wombs say women do not need to defy the laws of nature to be treated equally. They say pregnancy connects them to the natural world like nothing else, and that synthetic wombs would be the same as growing new species in a lab. The debate continues, but the question...
Shit, that's what Esau wants. He wants us to go from carbon-based life forms to silicon-based life forms, a synthetic, robotic humanity. He that opposeth and exalteth himself above the Most High, shewing himself as the Most High, trying to sit in the seat of the Most High. So with this clip, let's get back to these precepts. This is Revelation chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 12. And he exerciseth the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And that first beast whose deadly wound, and that first beast is speaking of the pagan Roman Empire, and its deadly wound being healed is these Edomites coming back into power, beginning with the Renaissance, leading all the way to today, with the culmination of this beast system we're in. The iron toes mixed with miry clay in Daniel chapter 2, the reincarnated Roman Empire, the NATO-EU alliance that the U.S. is a part of, that these Edomites in are pushing these things like genetically modified crops and artificial wombs in. Verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Those 2 atomic bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima during World War II, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, genetically modified crops, artificial wombs, things like neural implants from Elon Musk, which he's saying would help the paraplegic to walk again, or the blind to see again, or the deaf to hear again, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And that's why you see all these other heathen nations following after these Edomites, trying to do the same scientific experiments they do to create the same technology they do, to wear business suits, shave their faces, speak English, try to get blue-eyed contacts, dye their hair blonde, bleach their skin, etc., etc. But hey, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, we're living in the last seconds of the rulership of these Edomites. They've just about reached the bounds which they cannot pass, and once they're taken out of power, these nations are going to see what a righteous rulership looks like under the children of Israel, under the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. Back in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, go to verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. And back then, when the Edomites were the Romans in the Roman Empire, it wasn't their time to be revealed. But now we're in the times of the man of sin, the son of perdition, Esau, Edom, being revealed. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. This Edomites got a certain time to rule and bounds which he cannot pass. So the Most High's allowing him to do his dirtiness until he's reached those bounds. And once he's reached those bounds, he's going to be taken out of power. And then shall that wicked be revealed, the border of wickedness in Malachi 1 verse 4, the wicked whom the earth has been given into the hands of in Job 9 verse 24, the Edomites, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which we're seeing right now through his mouthpiece, the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, going out onto the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this, exposing the man of sin, the son of perdition, the wicked, Esau, Edom, showing that he's the root cause of all the problems on the planet right now, that once he's taken out of power, this planet will know peace and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, Yahawashi Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus Christ's second coming, where he's coming to save his elect, the 144,000 and the rest of the righteous 1/3 of the nation of Israel, and take away the rulership of you Edomites. Just go to Isaiah chapter 63. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. And when we go to that word working in the Strongs, it's G1753.
Strong's G1753. Energia.
Energia, working, efficiency, in the New Testament, used only of superhuman power, whether of the Most High or of the devil. Even him, Esau, Edom, whose coming is after the working, the energia, the superhuman power of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. All these technological and scientific advancements and ideologies that this Edomite has and has been pushing out is after the working of Satan. And if you can receive it, Satan doesn't have free will, and there was never a war in heaven or fallen angels led by Satan to fight against the Most High. Satan is just the left-handed power of the Most High, and the Most High is using Satan to use these Edomites to deceive the world with these so-called miracles, so that this Edomite can fulfill prophecy, and once he's reached those bounds which he cannot pass, he's going to be taken out of power. As it says back up in verse 7, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim were edified. Just keep strong and keep pushing this word. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the wicked, the man of sin, the son of perdition, Esau, Edom. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.